Come on now. You already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. And that's the Heartbreak person himself. Look, this was a very special episode of AEW Dynamite. And y'all know this was crazy. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Okay, because this episode was on a Tuesday night, and that's not very common. And something like this was very special. And honestly, you want to talk about competition. You want to talk about aura. You want to talk about storyline. You want to talk about how good is this getting? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, AEW did that. And let's go ahead and dive right into it. So let's go ahead and talk about that AEW Dynamite title Tuesday. Man, look. Okay. And, Tuesday was a little interesting, okay? You had to kind of choose as to what you was going to watch. You had to kind of think about, well, damn, what am I watching at 8 o'clock? Am I going to be on the CW network or am I going to be on TBS? Or maybe I might be on HBO Max. This was a tough one for me. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what am I going to watch? I had to watch both. But the big screen, the main screen I had to watch, of course, y'all know I had to, okay, was AEW Dynamite. I had to watch it. Had to. Why? Because I'm going to tell you how they kicked this show off, okay? My man, Zach, Beer and Pizza Day.
It's International Beer and Pizza Day.
Wow.
Zach, my man, thank you for dropping the National Day as usual.
Come on, man. Thank you, man. I got to get me a pizza pie. What time is that? I still got time. I can get something from Papa. Just something. I can get something. I ain't going to get the beer. If I can get one out
keep
of the
beer, I'll take the pizza.
Yeah. I can always go for some pizza, boy. Hey, I'm good with that. But let's talk about this, man, because the way they kicked this episode off, man, was special and monumental, okay? Look, they kicked it off with Samoa Joe and Hangman Adam Page, man. Look, Adam Hangman Page. Honestly, it's kind of funny. Talked about some of the stuff the main Harper Prince was talking about on the last episode of Nighttime. It's kind of saying how he was showing his respect to Samoa Joe. And it was kind of a little confused as to why Samoa Joe was, had this animosity towards him all of a sudden. Okay. And he also said, he did appreciate, and he had the gratitude, for the help that he gave him from helping him, beat the Death Rider that All In. Okay. And he also said, but since then, and since past him beating and defeating the Death Riders, it's been that and just only that past that. And he said, since then, he's been the one helping him with the Death Riders. So I said, you know what, Adam? I feel you on that. But Samoa Joe says that everything that Adam Hangman Page says was complete facts, was all true. And he also says, at the same time, though, the bloodlust that he had for the Death Riders, he was almost just so distracted with them. But that every time that when it came to a situation with Adam Hangman Page and the Death Riders, that the odds were right there to always help him. And he also did say at the same time, that being said, his main goal is to become that champion again. And he also says he thinks he's a phony. A big fat phony. He thinks he's a fraud. He thinks that he's not the real champion that everybody keeps making him to see, just to seem him to be. Okay. Then, even after the fact, he said he's not going to hesitate, okay, at stopping or to really stopping the reign of this fake persona of who they're saying that Adam Hangman Page is. I said, Samoa Joe, you are going insane right now with the mic. But Adam Hangman Page responds, okay? He tells him he has what it takes. I don't know why he has to sit here and explain himself every single time. He says he will do this to every single person that comes across him, and that also means Samoa Joe. So he says even when he hits him once, he's going to hit him 2 times harder, and he's not going to give up. He's not going to tap, and he's not going to go down. And I said, man, Adam Adam, man, I ain't gonna lie. You killed this. Okay. I loved everything about this. Man, first of all, okay, starting off, the show, just with this opening segment. I really loved everything about first of all, Samoa Joe. Come on. I mean, do I have to say anything else? The man is sweet tooth on Twisted Metal. If y'all ain't watching that, my man's killing that, by the way. Okay. Like, come on. But he killed this. Adam Heyman, I love the response. And at first, I ain't gonna lie, what Samoa Joe was talking about, just the whole persona of Adam Heyman, kind of had me a little shook. It had me in my thoughts. And I thought to myself, damn, is Samoa Joe right? Is Adam Heyman Page almost coming across as a fraud, as a phony? He's not really him? And I ain't talking Carmelo Hayes. Is it one of those situations? Possibly. And I said, man, this might be something. But Adam Heyman Page turned it around. I love the response that he gave. I said, man, this is good. Okay, if you talk about this ain't story, yeah, you're definitely capping. Okay, I love what they did with this. The setup was perfect. It wasn't too much, and even for something like this not even like much of a short term notice, because this is something that's kind of been already going on. We know there was already situations and there was already been involvement with the Ops, Death Riders, and with Adam Heyman Page. So all this tied in together perfectly. This was great. I loved it. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, this right here was a phenomenal way to begin the show. I admired the promo work that was done between these two here. Samoa Joe on the mic is already phenomenal. Hangman Page has really shown why I continue to say like he has my vote for champion of the year. This back
Yeah.
and forth between these two here was special, just on both ends, and you can tell it was special because the crowd initially was booing Samoa Joe, especially with his what how do I want to say his attack on Adam Hangman as champion. But by the time Joe finished his whole entire spiel, the crowd was chanting Joe, Joe, Joe. How fickle are we? I said the broke bucks are right. How fickle are we? But Adam Hangman Page came back, and he came back and spit his fire to close it out and to show why he is the champion that he is. And I loved how he finished it with, when that match is over, you're going to stand up and you're going to shake my hand and realize why I am the heavyweight champion of the world. And it just goes to what Adam Hangman Page has been doing all year long as the AEW champion, and why I just really appreciate him and really, like I said, why he really has my vote as champion of the year. I just appreciate Adam Hangman Page. I appreciate what he's been doing, and I think it's great. This match is going to be good, even though it's a fickle way for it to start because Joe is very fickle. But the way Joe has approached this, it's like, well, he does have some points. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's real good stuff, man. I really like what they're gonna do. Samoa Joe's always gonna deliver, and Adam Page is definitely gonna deliver. So I know Wrestle Dream, they're definitely gonna kill it. So I'm definitely excited to see how they're gonna do that. But let's go ahead and talk about this next segment, man. Because honestly, again, this is where I'm really to the point. I really love seeing Mark Briscoe and the conglomerate. I love seeing Orange Cassidy. Love to see my man Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. Okay. This was good. This was good. Mark really talking about just everything he's really trying to do to really get the conglomerate going crazy, because they do got a big week going on. Of course, he talked about with Willow and with Jet Speed, what they got going on, talked about Orange Cassidy, and he talked about Kyle. Of course, he said that Kyle's ready to take on Kyle. Okay. And honestly, man, this was just a great segment, man. Honestly, Mark Briscoe, this guy, I don't know why you don't have to say nothing about what Mark Briscoe is doing right now. This man is legitimately killing it. Okay. He's killing it on the mic. He's doing like just great stuff, man. He's really just probably top five, I think, maybe top 10 this year. I think just in just I think on the mic, man, he's been going crazy. But then we got to flash forward, okay? Because man, this match with John Moxley and my man Hiro Ishii, man, this was so good of a match. And honestly, man, look, I mean, you know how Ishii is, man. That man gonna just he that I've never seen a man at that age just wrestle the way he does. But honestly, this man didn't even tap. He just passed out. But I mean, again, a great banger of a match. This was great, man. John Moxley getting the dub, and the Death Rod is feeling good. But what got even more interesting. Okay, we got to talk about this, man. The Young Bucks, okay, trying to get another money match, man. Look, Nick and Matt ain't got no more bread at this point. Nick done gambled it all. So Matt literally said he's done everything he can to get another money match. He had to sell a couple of Jordans and some sneakers that they did. Of course, Nick wasn't too happy about it. But look, this is what you got to do when you out here, gambling everything that you got. When you don't got much money left. But okay, we're gonna see what's going on with that. And this was so interesting to see. Okay. Then we flash forward. Oh man, look to this banger, man. We gotta talk about this really quick. With the Hurt Syndicate, okay, and the Demand. This is what I love, the new name of it, okay? The Demand, okay? But this was a banger. I mean, this was just a crazy street fight. MVP, okay, and Ricochet. First of all, they were starting off the match, okay, MVP and Ricochet out here going, blade for blade. I don't even want to say stick for stick, because that's definitely like a super pause. But I mean, out here just sword fighting. Definitely got to pause that now.
Stick for stick is insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. And I think sword fighting is even crazier. But yeah, this is what they're doing outside. Okay. I mean, but this is great. Okay, Bishop Khan, you had Toa, okay, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby, Lashley going crazy. I mean, these guys were just throwing down. I mean, this was such a banger of a match. Love the part where Ricochet did this crazy spot coming from the top, like just jumping off, doing just crazy stuff. Shelton Benjamin hitting an insane knee to Toa's face. I said, my God. Even a point to where Ricochet started hiding behind the table. But MVP still found him, and then they still put him through a table. And of course, Shelton Benjamin, German giving Ricochet a German suplex through the table for the 1, 2, 3. And honestly, this was just a great match right here. Honestly, we got to talk about this Hurt Syndicate real quick, man. I love the story that they got going on with the Demand. I love what's going on with the Hurt Syndicate. This is really good. Honestly, like there's no titles on the line, but even if there was, I would love it even more. But this, I mean, MVP still getting active, still doing some, I mean, MVP don't even be wrestling like that, no more. He, does what he got to do in the suit, but he does his job on the mic. And I love the fact that the times that he's come back, they're not just regular matches. No, hell no. This man's coming back for street fights, brawls. Okay. So I love what they're doing with this. I love seeing, first of all, Bobby, okay, in the force, the concrete force out here just sitting here just doing damage with the suits. And I love that too. I love that little callback to where they was in a street fight in the suits. I said, y'all didn't even have no gear, but y'all whooping ass in the suits. Yeah. That's the Hurt Syndicate that we know, or maybe should I say that's a little bit of Hurt business that we know. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Absolutely phenomenal. That was probably like that match was just great. But some of my favorite parts or things about it was one, to me, I feel like if you're a One Piece fan, if you know, you know. But to me, it seems like the Demand is wearing captain's robes. And so
Mm.
that's the way they seem like they're coming out to me. Each one of them is a particular captain. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like to me based on how they're dressing and when they come out with the robes on. But the hurt syndicate and the way they rolled out there, them boys tough, man. I loved it. When they came out with the suits on, I was like, we getting ready to be in a street fight, and y'all are dressed like it's strictly business. And went to work. That was a good match. They did a good job too, keeping up with all the different action because they were all over the place,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning when they were all outside the ring and different parts of the ring or at different parts of the ring, and just some people going through tables, another person being slammed against the ring and beat with a kendo stick, another person is being tackled against the barricade or thrown back and forth between the barricade and the ring. I mean, it was a lot of chaos, but they put together one hell of a match. And then for it to end the way it ended, that German suplex that put Ricochet through the table. Hey, Ricochet sells impacts,
Come on.
man. He can sell some impacts. I mean, that German suplex by itself from Sheldon Benjamin just looked diabolical.
No,
It was devastating. And the way he went through the table and then they pinned him. I have to applaud. I mean, that was just phenomenal work by that group. And again, I gotta give it to the Hurt Syndicate. The fact that they came out there dressed to the nines, man, and wrestled. It's just dope. I love
put
it.
the suits back on. Put
the suits back on at the end. They gave it back to Jack, and Bobby was fixing it. I said, "Hey, this is devilish work right here." But love it. I absolutely love it. They killed it, and I like this feud between the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand, and I can't wait to see where this goes. And this is great, and it doesn't even have titles on the line. I mean, if the Hurt Syndicate still had their titles, this would be shaping up to be even cooler because, just the way this feud is going right now between these two. Absolutely love it, though. Absolutely love it. Whose ever idea, MVP, Bobby's, or Sheldon's, to come out here in suits to go into a street fight, just A1 idea and a banger on top of that.
Yeah, man, they killed that one, man. I love that. I was like, man, to see and Bobby, honestly, really always be like, yo, how do y'all do this? To sit there and do all the stuff that they do, and your shirts and everything still somehow maintain to still be in good condition. The quality of like, come on, that's what I mean. I'm a man. This is good. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. Man, you can't, that's real. That's real. That's real class right there. That's real class. See, that's how MVP got the mentalities. That's what I see it now. I see why Bobby and Sheldon. I get it. I get it now, 100%. Well, let's talk about this next segment, man, because honestly, seeing Jurassic Express come back. Okay, they this was such a good thing to see from these guys, man. Defeating KM and Oron. Honestly, they, a couple little jobs. I ain't gonna say they job, but it was nice to see Jurassic Express come back. Now, what was interesting, real interesting, the Bucks coming back. Okay, attacking Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. Okay, pulling them out, tossing Jack Perry right to the barricade, coming in. Now at this point, they try to jump in and get Luchasaurus, trying to catch Luchasaurus caught the Bucks. But of course, you see how the Bucks do. When it comes to them kicks, you can't stop it. And it don't matter what kind of kicks it are. Okay. And they hit him with that BTE. And I said, man, look at them Bucks. They're feeling it. They're still not rich like they used to, but they're feeling rich mentally. Okay. They're going crazy. But now at this point, the Bucks challenge Jurassic Express to a match at Wrestle Dream. Money match. The Bucks need the bread. So they're gonna do this at this point. But this was really good. This was interesting. And this was official because Tony Khan made it happen. And that is what's gonna be happening at Wrestle Dream. The Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. Man, I can't wait to see that. Okay, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't. Anything with the Bucks in it, I'm down to see it. I'm sorry, but this is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good. Now, if y'all really want to talk about this, let's talk about this. Y'all want to say, oh well, what's so important? What's so special about this match? Where's the story for Jack Perry and the Young Bucks and Luchasaurus? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. You remember a couple years ago when Jack Perry was with the Bucks? Story. You remember when Jack Perry left, said F the Bucks? Story. You remember when Jack Perry called himself the scapegoat? Story. You remember when Luchasaurus had what was called Kill Switch? Story. Then he came back as Luchasaurus and joined Jack Perry. Story. It's all there. If you didn't, I simplified that. I'm just trying to tell you. If you're trying to find what you say, well, it makes no sense. There you go. And it makes sense. Why? Because it's plain date right there in front of you. And you know why? Because this story has been progressing very well. And it's working. Because it makes sense. And this is doing justice to the fans. I love how they're doing all of this. I love what they're doing with everything with Jack. First of all, Jack Perry, much respect, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know, when Jack Perry first came around in AEW 2019 started up, I said, man, look at this guy, young guy. Young, my man was like 20, like 19, 20 years old. What the chops? Now look at man got a full-grown beard. Grown man out here killing it. Different persona. You know, went heel for a little bit. Got himself over, and now you see what he's doing. Great stuff. Proud of you, Jack. And I know your dad is too. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
The Bucks being the Bucks, man. The broke Bucks. Them banging.
The broke bugs, boy.
Them banging on Tony Khan's door, demanding another match for another $500,000. And then coming out here and picking on Jack Perry and them. It's just it's great stuff. The Bucks, they're hilarious. And the fact that they even got it, that Tony Khan even like granted them this opportunity for another $500,000 after they just blew through 500 stacks, $500,000 just a few months ago. Not even a few months ago, like 2 months. And
it was like 2 weeks ago.
I know they weaseled their way into this. Great stuff. I am happy to see, you know, this match here between Luchasaurus, Jack Perry, and the Bucks. I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to deliver. This is going to be good stuff right here. The story is already on point, and so yeah, this is setting up to be a real banger. You know it is because the Bucks are involved. Well, the broke Bucks are involved, so it can't be anything else or anything less than, you know, A1. So I'm excited for this, and I'm glad that Tony Khan sees the potential in the Bucks, that to the point that he's willing to put another $500,000 on the line. Talking about $1 million to the Bucks. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm not arguing about it.
Yeah.
Because now I want to see how they're going to blow through this stack of money.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. It seemed like it's like Nick got a problem with the money, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like every time Nick just get a little bit of money by himself, gambles it away. And it's funny though, you called that one though. I was like, man, who's gonna be the one with the real money problems or the real money troubles? Yeah, it's Nick. It's Nick. Slick Nick. That's why they call him Slick Nick.
And I thought for a second what you said was gonna come true when Renee was interviewing him. I thought they were gonna ask Renee for that $10,000 back that they gave her just a couple weeks back.
Hey, if it happens, I'm gonna bust out laughing. That'd be too crazy. That'd be too crazy. Hey, Renee, can we get that 10,000 back? I just
that's crazy work.
Oh man, let's talk about that next segment, man. Because look, AEW just kept giving us bangers and heat. Okay, you see what was going on with the Don Callis family. Okay, look at this. Look at this. Come on. Oh my God. Like, you can't tell me this doesn't look like or Raw. I mean, you know what? I think I got him. I think I got him. Yep. Yep. I do. Yeah. Man, what? Man, come on. I've never seen this group of people, and I thought to myself, damn, this is low key a group of demons. Like this is some dogs right here. I mean, come on. You see that group, Lance Archer, Josh Alexander, Andrade. You got Okada. What the heck? Like, well, what is this? Kyle Fletcher, man, Takeshita. Look at this. Renee. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, this is really like insane. But I love what Don Callis was talking about. Of course, he talked about how Kyle was going to be taking out Kyle. Okay, he was talking about Takeshita and Okada, them being a team. I said, man, the dominance on these guys right here. This looks really good. Honestly, that's another thing that if people don't want to talk about enough, I'm gonna say it. Okay, the factions that's been going on in AEW have been, in my opinion, I think the work, the development, everything they've been doing, top tier. Top tier. This is one of those examples right here. I love it. Honestly love it. Then we flash forward. Come on. You see what Kyle did to Kyle. Okay. You see what Kyle did to Kyle. Put Kyle O'Reilly down. But I mean, this was a banger. And the last match that they had before was a banger. And this one just topped that next one. Just a great match overall, coming from Kyle Fletcher. And honestly, this just overly delivered. You know how Kyle Fletcher is. And of course, Don Callis is on on commentary, and Daniel Bryan and Brian Danielson just talking this stuff. Man, I love this. This was great. Then we flash forward. Come on. Come on. I mean, come on. We're going to talk about this after but this was great. Okay. We see Lacey Lane. Okay. If y'all don't know, man, Lacey Lane, of course, formerly known. I don't even got to say none of that. You know who this is. You've seen her in WWE. You've seen where she's come from. First of all, she had a match in Ring of Honor. Okay. This is her second match in AEW. Second match. And guess who she goes up against? The CEO, Mercedes Moné, for that TBS title. They gave a banger of a match. Okay. And of course, Mercedes remains undefeated. But, okay, honestly, let's really keep it a band. You want to talk about one of the best women's champions right now killing it? Come on. Honestly, I'm not even going to cap right now. The best women's champions have been on AEW, in my opinion. I'm going to say it right now. And honestly, I say that because it seems like the titles that the women have had has felt more genuine. It's felt like it's meant more. We talk about all the stuff with Toni Storm, how she's been going crazy when she was the champion. Come on, you couldn't tell me she wasn't out here killing it. And you see how many matches she was having on a week-to-week basis. Okay, you see now we got Chris Statlander, and you see what she's doing. Come on, we can talk about Athena, what she's been doing with the Minions. We can talk about non-belts Monet. That's probably going to be 10 belts Monet if she gets that AEW Tag Team Champion with Harley Cameron and Monet. But honestly, come on, let's really talk about this. I don't know why anybody wants to have any more hate for Mercedes Moné. Look at how many women she has been putting on the spotlight on a week-to-week basis. Whether it's a pay-per-view or she has a match with somebody on Dynamite. Come on. Stop playing. Y'all want to sit there and say, oh, I'm tired of her being Look at what she's doing. This is really what you do to elevate. This is truly what you do. And Mercedes Moné is doing that. This is the reason why she is the CEO. Honestly, big ups to you, Mercedes. For real. I literally thought about this the other day when I was watching. I said, man, look, I don't think nobody's killing it like her right now. And look at that. Come on. Lacey, like, come on. Lacey laid up in this joint. Now we got something. I love this. I love this for her. What a great promo. Great video package before and then the crowd was popping. And then on the move, she was, man, what? Had the crowd over. She gonna be back. She is. Like, she ain't going nowhere. She going there. And again, this is why it is good to have AEW. You see how underutilized she was getting? But now she's in another company, and you see what she can do. And you see how happy she looked. You see how the crowd reacted. See, honestly, now this is one thing I'm going to definitely say. 100%. And this is the fact, okay? One thing I have noticed, one thing I have always noticed, when people come from WWE to AEW, you always can tell that crowd reaction. It don't matter where the hell you came from. Matter of fact, honestly, I'm not even going to say just from WWE to AEW, but it don't matter where the hell you came from. Wherever you come from, when you debut in AEW, that crowd reaction is always a 10 out of 10 pop. I can't always say that when you debut, because if they don't know you, hey, we got to give you a package. We got to do all this. We got to do all that. Hell no, not when it comes to AEW. You know why? Because at least the damn fans watch a little bit more than one product. So if you see somebody from an MLW pop up, you're like, oh, shoot, that's... If you see somebody from Lucha Underground, like, oh, that's a... If you've seen somebody that came from NWA, you're like, oh, that's what's a... Come on. So it was great to see somebody like a Lacey Lane that really came up. Okay, that was doing something in these and then went to WWE. And now you see her right now in AEW. And the crowd loved it. And I loved it too. Proud of what you did, Lacey. And I'm proud of what you did, Mercedes. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
These two ladies, killed it. They did a great job. I don't know why there is so much hate on Sasha Banks, on Mercedes Moné. I don't know why, she has to, it has to be this heat for her. Like, she's doing well. She's, giving opportunities and a platform for other ladies to kind of, be involved. Yes, I know we can say, oh, she's, choking out, all the different opportunities as far as having the title belt. So she's walking around with 9 of them. But I still think, she's doing a great job of, actually giving people title shots and giving them different people the platform to kind of see them on, your main television programming. So I mean, listen, I'm happy for her. This is great stuff. She's very successful and she's doing it in her own way. And so, yeah, I mean, I still appreciate the work that she does. I think anytime she has a match, it's always, she's been putting on bangers, just throughout the year. So I don't know what else you can want from somebody of her caliber, where, you're just, you can feel satisfied. And sometimes you're just not going to make people happy no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So they know you're bending yourself into a pretzel. Mercedes Moné just needs to continue being Mercedes Moné, continue making Moné and, and just being Moné with 9 titles and maybe 10 if she wins these tag team titles, which is great stuff. Great stuff for her. Awesome. Happy for her. I'm glad to see that she's had success. I've loved her since she's been Sasha Banks. I loved her. I love her now that she's Mercedes Moné. And I still support her no matter what, in which way she goes with this, because I just think she's a very talented wrestler and performer, and I just enjoy watching her. So yeah, shout out to Mercedes, shout out to Lacey Lane, and I just hope it continues. I hope she continues to thrive.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just really think the women's division is really turning up for them, man. I think they've got. I think they're showing them off now. I think they are. Pause. I don't know how to feel about that one I just said, but yeah, I just feel like they got some heat. I think they got some heat up in that women's division now, man. I think When you think about it, man, we got Mercedes. Now they got Lacey Lamb. I mean, we got Willow, Chris Statlander, Tony Storm,
Athena,
Tekla, Athena, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Queen Aminata. Okay, then I just feel like again Harley
Queen
Cameron.
Aminata, hey,
Come on
that's my
now.
girl.
I feel like there's so many women there. Megan Bain, Penelope Ford. I feel like, I'm like, yo, like I just named a lot of these women here, and I'm like, yeah, they got some hitters. Riho, Nyla Rose just came back, by the way. Okay, Marina Shafir. Hey, they got a set roster of women, and I think they're doing a lot of great stuff with them, man. I really do. I love the women's division over there, man. I think they got a lot of great, like, not even just potential. I think they have so many great avenues to go down when it comes to that women's division. So much, like I can see so much greatness coming out of there. So I'm really excited to see what they do. And again, I can't wait to see how they do with these the women tag teams, man. I think this is going to be great. Seems like when it comes to tag team wrestling, they've been killing it. And since you got the greatest tag team of all time, that are your EVPs, you might as well have them helping the women out. So I think that's going to be a banger, and that's going to be great. I think it's going to benefit them as well. So I can't wait to see how that goes with that as well. But let's go ahead and talk about this next segment, man, because again, AEW just over-delivered with this whole episode of Dynamite. We had Takeshita and Okada, okay, in the Double Jeopardy Eliminator match going up, with Bro Dito, man. This was actually pretty crazy, okay? This was insane in a lot of ways, man. Just the tension that was building up with Takeshita and Okada again. Okay, even when Takeshita came out first, okay, you seen Don Callis with him, and then Okada came out, and there was just a little bit more attention. But honestly, Okada and Takeshita working on that injured arm from Bandito, and honestly, them getting the dub. And this was interesting, man, for these guys to beat the AEW Tag Team Champions, okay, they set themselves up for a match at Wrestle Dream. Now, I think this is going to be really interesting, and I can't wait to see how far this is going to go for the Don Callis family. Then we flash forward to this interesting thing right here, man. Look, we had Willow, Nightingale, Jet Speed getting themselves ready for FTR and Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. Now, this was really good. They were just talking about how they was ready. Willow, okay, talking about Megan, talking about how she said, oh, you say you're a guy. So she said, look, she ready to put that to rest. Kevin Knight, okay, talking his stuff, talking about FTR, how they said they're the top guys, but they ain't met no guys like Jet Speed. I said, man, come on, Kev. This is why we long distance cousins. I see what you're doing out here, man. I see it. I feel that. No, but then what I love, even after that, okay, the response that came from Big Stokes. He said, how you gonna say that? How you gonna, man, he was I love what he was talking about, man. But the main thing was what he declared was he doesn't have to worry about Willow when he's got two baddies that hate Willow just as much. And he brought out Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. And now it is confirmed that Megan Bain and Penelope Ford are part of the group with Big Stokes and FTR. And it wasn't to the fact that they said top guys out. She stopped and said top gods out. I said, ooh, he's cooking with that one. Then we flash forward. Oh, man, to this greatness of a match right here. This was a banger. We had Pat going up against Orange Cassidy. First of all, Orange Cassidy jumping off the top rope with his hands in his pockets and putting Pat through a table. Okay? Insane. Okay, you see the height. Look at this, man. I mean, just insane. Puts him through a table. Okay? Then we flash forward a little bit past down to the match where Pac actually tries to run back in. Orange Cassidy catches Pac and then hits him with a roll-up pin, and honestly, getting the quick rolling 1, 2, 3. And honestly, This was a banger. This honestly was. To the point where Pac was pissed. Okay. But one great thing, excuse me, who came out after? Man, did I love this. And honestly, this is what's insane. This is one of the top baby faces right now in AEW, and people are trying to say that the AEW don't got none. But you're looking at one. That's Darby Allin. Darby Allin comes out, starts to beat the hell out of Pac. He starts to beat the hell. Of course, you know how Will Yuta. You know how that go. Barely even touched. This man just went flying. I mean, I think that was just Darby Allin's aura going up against, Will Yuta's negative aura. So I just think immediately that's why Wheeler just went flying. I mean, it makes sense. So at that point, honestly, Darby's out there, and this man's got a taser. Okay, people start. Well, I said, "Whoa!" I said, "Come on, Darby, not a Daly's. That Daly's with the taser is crazy." To the point where Death Riders back up. Now Darby get a little distance, tries to walk off. Then the Death Riders try to follow up. Marina Shafir, Dan Garcia, they all trying to stop. Tell John, don't go. John's like, nah, I ain't hearing that. John literally starts to walk off, tries to follow Darby. Darby now is a man that is holding a Molotov cocktail. Okay. I'm like, yo, what is this? The mob, the Italian mob? What is this? Godfather? This is insane. Has a Molotov
I'm gonna
cocktail.
make you an offer. You can't refuse.
You can't refuse. Okay. Getting ready to light it. Okay. Then security, and I ain't even gonna lie, that security is just as good as some of the security I seen off of that movie, Head of State. Okay. Literally. Security. I mean, this man literally gets tackled. I said, man, stops the Molotov cocktail. And honestly, to the point, John Moxley, I mean, to the point where he's safe. Okay. Darby Allin, they're holding him down. John Moxley trying to hold it all together. And honestly, they're just trying to calm everybody down. And this is the finish right here. I ain't gonna lie. Couple things I gotta talk about real quick. First of all, that new addition for FTR and Big Stoke with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, I'm all for it. This is what I was talking about. The factions that are in AEW, I love every single one of them. The Don Callis family, okay, FTR, the faction from FTR, okay, the conglomeration. I mean, come on. You can't tell me these aren't factions that are like, yo, I like every single one of these people, and it makes sense. Good stuff. Love it. I love it, man. And honestly, and then again, the Death Riders. Come on. It's like anybody that's put in this group right now, it makes sense. I love what they're doing with the factions. Like, and it's not like everybody's in one, but the ones that are, it makes sense. And the ones that are by themselves make sense. If you got a 3 group, which would be like the Ops, another group like a 3-man faction right there. It's good stuff. I love what AEW's doing, man. So I love the addition what they're doing for the factions. I love first of all, Orange Cassidy going crazy. Love to see the fact that Pac came back. Okay. Love to see Pac back in the ring. That man does not miss a beat. You see how that, first of all, even when the camera in the entrance that was hard. That was tough. I said, I said, yeah, man. That boy Pac, he back, man. But I love what Orange Cassidy doing. That first of all, that spot, hands in your pockets, jumping out. I say, yeah, you're insane, sir. But they killed that match, man. That was such a great banger of a match. And then again, even Darby Allin. I love the fact that this is this cat and mouse kind of thing. Every time they see the Death Rod, it's just a little break moment. Here come Darby Allin, just ready to just tear it all up. I mean, this man is going crazy, ready to burn it down. And I ain't talking Seth. So this is great, man. Again, Darby is definitely a top baby face in that company. If y'all don't know, listen to the pops when they see Darby going, when he comes out. Think I'm tapping. Watch it again. And you'll see. Watch for the last few weeks. Matter of fact, you can watch every time Darby Allin's been coming out since what? All In? Yeah, we can talk about that. When Darby Allin came from the freaking ceiling. And he dropped. And they said, yo, who is that? Yeah, Darby. Yeah. Crowd went crazy. Can't tell me they ain't one of your top baby faces. Stop playing with him. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Absolutely phenomenal way to end the night. I'm already a huge fan of Orange Cassidy, so love to see him anytime he's wrestling because
The
we
lazy
all know about his
wrestler.
style. Yeah, it's crazy. You got the lazy wrestler juxtaposed to like the a very serious and just beast of wrestler in himself in Pac. That Pac is that dude is the truth. In a wrestling ring, and yeah, I thought this was great. Even down to like how Darby Allin even involved himself. They were up in the crowd. They were up in the crowd fighting, and out of nowhere, it's like there's somebody grabbing Pac's leg, and he's chained to like a. It was like,
Yeah.
how did you know he was going to beat it? But Darby Allin, just coming out, the crowd going nuts. And the way he's just taking on the entire Death Riders team, all by himself. I'm talking Celine Dion style, and just doing work, and and it's always something crazy. The man threw some type of, as my man Booker T would say, some type of chemical agent, and doing one of his attacks, and then the next thing I know, he was running off, and when they cut back, he's got a Molotov cocktail. How prepared is he for battle? How prepared is this dude for battle? And this is going to be insane when Darby Allin and John Moxley actually get to put hands on each other. This is going to go bonkers, just because these two are just gluttons for punishment, and they are going to put each other through the ringer. And honestly, I don't know who's going to end up, winning this match, because I just can't see. I can't see either one of them really wanting to say that they quit. And so they're going to end up. Somebody's going to beat somebody until the point that they're unconscious. But Darby Allin is doing a phenomenal job as a face. You're right. The crowd has they go crazy for Darby Allin. He does have this Sting effect, which is great because Sting had to kind of hang it up and go off and retire and everything, and he kind of imparted all of his aura onto Darby Allin, and he's carrying the legacy very well from just coming down from the rafters, the way he involves himself. Hey, look, I appreciate Darby, and I think he's doing a phenomenal job, and I think this is going to be a great match and great opportunity for Darby here just to be going against Mox, especially because Mox has been in his bag and has been cooking all year too, even after losing the AEW championship in the fashion that he even lost the AEW championship. He has still been going strong. The Death Riders have still been going strong. Yeah, just a phenomenal way to end the night. Like I said, Orange Cassidy as well. That spot jumping off the top ropes with a hand in his pocket, just the laziest way you can do it. Great work.
That was spot on too to the table. I said, boy.
Yeah, Cassidy is good, man. That dude is good. Good stuff from him.
Yeah, man. I remember the first time we seen him, Double or Nothing 2019, when he first was like, who is this guy?
Yep. And I was only familiar with him from some YouTube stuff that I had seen of him out in like a yard with a ring. And he's like they're like some carnival. I shouldn't even say it's like a carnival or something like that. And they had built this ring. And they had introduced him, and he was out there, and he was doing the whole kicks, the little soft kicks, and people was just really bad. I said, "Who is this guy? How is this going to work in AEW in a professional wrestling ring?" And it has. He has gotten it over. I mean, it's awesome. I'm a huge fan of Orange Cassidy. That's my dog right there.
Yeah, man. I think for me, I've always been an Orange Cassidy fan, man. I think one of my favorite segments with him. I still think with him and Chris Jericho when they had that debate.
Yeah.
They had Eric Bischoff. Man, that was such a good segment because then I remember even they had Luchasaurus in there ask a question. They was like, he has a PhD. He was like, he has a PhD. And I was like, man, what is
what?
It was just so good because you never heard Orange Cassidy talk, and that was like the first time he talked.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody reacted like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I love Orange Cassidy, but this was such a great show, man. They've been just killing it, man. Yeah, man. They've been
Really good
hitting it
job.
on the head, man.
Yeah.
Again, Tony, you're
I give it to
killing
Orange Cassidy. Yeah,
it.
I give it the Orange Cassidy thumb of approval.
Yeah, man. I don't know, but we might have to give Tony a chef's hat, man. I think it's getting to the
Hey,
point.
Tony
I
has
think
earned a chef's hat
I
this
think
year. He
he's
has
I
definitely
think he
earned it.
has. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I think it's safe to say, Tony, you up there with the chefs, my man. You have now earned that chef's hat. Chef Tony, keep it up, baby. You got it.
Yeah, Tony's been doing his thing this year. They've done a phenomenal job with the product, this year, and we still got 2 months left. So they've been cooking that, and they just got to finish the year out strong because they've been doing their thing.
Yeah, man. I'm sure we got Full Gear coming up, and Full Gear always delivers. So
Yeah.
I'm always excited. I love Full Gear. That's probably, I've always said it's one of my favorite first ones I've been to. So it's like, yeah, I love Full Gear, man. They always deliver. Oh man. But as always, please make sure y'all follow all of our social medias. Facebook, we on that. We on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we on that as well. We appreciate all the love and support y'all been giving us. We're getting close to 200 subscribers, y'all. We're 5 away, 5 to stay alive. So go ahead, man. We need y'all to subscribe. We need y'all to like, comment, and make sure you turn on those notifications because we're going to keep giving you that content the exclusive way. Come on,
Thanks
man. Y'all know this.
Thanks for the support.
Yes, and we're getting close, y'all. We are getting so close to 500 followers on TikTok. So, of course, y'all keep following us up on there. We're always going to be on those panels. Of course, you see us on there. You see me on there. I'll be on there with Heals for Life. My man Chris up on there. Shout out to my man Chris. As he would say, he's a Christian by law. So, so yeah, man. So you guys just keep supporting us. We love the support y'all been doing. Love the comments y'all been giving as well. Love the feedback. We couldn't be more thankful and just grateful for everything you guys been doing. So just keep giving it.
Thank you.
Pause. Keep doing that,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep giving y'all content. Oh man. But as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight, and the one man and the only man that can check into the Heartbreak Hotel. That's the Heartbreak Prince himself. Because we are the exclusive Knights, and we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best it ever will be. And to ensure that your nights will never be the same. Y'all be good.
Peace.